Hey guys, GameBoy38 on here once again back in Forza. We're going to do another brand new series. We just started out the D-Class NASCAR series, but alongside that, we're going to be running a budget car series. What's that mean? Well, I've selected a bunch of cars. I dropped my Forza bank account from 120 million to 40 million, buying $20 million cars on the auction house because this is not possible with cars that you already own and have done upgrades to, because if you get an upgrade, it'll like have that permanently, and you cannot rebuy that with credits. It'll just give it to you. So that's what I've had to do. We're gonna do C class this time around, since I don't think we've done that before. I think I tried it, but never released that series because it was kind of eh. And we're going to start with the Dodge Coronet. I have a bunch of other cars I looked at, and we may do a couple rules. No drivetrain swap, since, take a look at this. It costs $10,000. Likewise, we're not going to be putting on any really expensive tire compound, because anything after, like, sports, really doesn't make sense. Everything costs 10 grand. So if we do tires and drivetrain swap, that's like all of our budget. Likewise, if we do an engine swap, that's almost all of our budget, so we're probably going to want to stay to stock engine. Not to say that, we won't try to put in one of these engines. Like, for the whole budget amount we're doing, 25 grand, we could put in the Viper V10. But then that's in D-Class, for this car at least. So, for here, I'm going to go for the Supercharger. It's cheaper and adds a nice chunk of torque. What circuit are we doing? It is going to be a road course. It's not off-road this time, or the oval circuit. It is a full-on road course, so we will want to have some kind of handling on. So a front splitter may not be necessary, but for here, it does actually reduce our PI, so that's something I probably do want to consider, but it does cost 5,000 credits, so we need to keep a real close eye on that. Likewise, going for any tire compound upgrades, on this car at least, is not feasible because we jump up to B class. Even with no supercharger and everything else stock, that's not going to work for us. So no tire compound upgrades either. We can go for some big tires still. So go for big rear tires at least. Front tires, not too important in this game. As long as they're above 200 millimeters, I think it's fine. Otherwise, we'd be wasting 2,200 points, and we don't want that. Likewise, if we have the extra couple $100 to go for wheel spacers, we will. But, of course, we're going to be trying to save every dollar we can. So that is why going for, say, a race gearbox for 3,000 credits will not be ideal. So going for a stock gearbox or, a street gearbox will be what we want to do for this series. And we will be upgrading every car as it comes. And one thing we're going to have to do is put a race diff on every car. Otherwise, we'll be a one-legger. So you can see just with that supercharger, wider tires, and a diff, we're getting up there. And for C-Class, we don't have much room to play with here, because it does drop our points and there's only 800 credits. I am going to put in the sport gearbox. But you notice we're kind of wobbly. So if we go here, what we're going to want to do, for sure at least, is get some kind of suspension. If we go for race and rally, it's all the same. So it's just how many points do we have to spare. And then the anti-roll bars. The anti-roll bars cost a ton. We've used up almost all of our budget already. Thankfully, we have put in just the right amount to get away with it. And we can go for some slightly cheaper tire options as well. So that now we are $1,000 free to fit things like the wheel spacers. Can I do that up front? No, not without, adding to the points. I did get one stage of roll cage in because we will probably need it. I can't do the flywheel because it is a road course. I think I will want some stage of brakes. And do we want that? Yeah, we really do want the roll cage. So how can we get our points back down? Well, we can do this, but you can see oil costs a lot of money. We don't have a lot of money. Can do this. That doesn't cost a lot. So now we just need to lose some money elsewhere. Go for even skinnier back tires, maybe. Even skinnier still. Now we go for that, and then we don't go for any wheel spacers. Only 400 to save. We could do that, but then that puts us back into B class somehow. I don't know how that works. Could go for a sport diff. That could be good enough for us here. Now we have enough money again to go for the wheel spacers, and we have used all of our budget. $24,950 on upgrading the Dodge Coronet into C class. 550 horsepower, 630 foot-pounds of torque, 3,500 pounds. Stock tires, but we do have a stage of brakes. We do have rally springs and dampers. We have race anti-roll bars all around. And we have a chassis reinforcement upgrade. Could we save by going for the sport springs and stuff? Maybe, but I like the ability to adjust everything. And when you go for street or sport springs, it does not give you the option to tune it. The only thing you can do is tune that tire pressure. So that is our first car built. It is going to set the benchmark. I have no benchmark time for us this time around. And I can't, even though I have spare points to play with here, I just don't have enough credits to do anything with them. So that is our car. I will also show you how I'm going to be tuning these cars. For the front tire pressure, I'm going to have 37.5, and the rears will be 35. Why? Helps give us some good bite into the turns, and that's really about it. Because we have stock tires, I am going to have minimal camber all around. That's how I'm going to have my toe and caster. Because this game likes having no anti-roll bars, I am going to tune them all the way soft. Could I get away with having stock front anti-roll bars? Probably. Maybe we will experiment with that in the future if we need to make up some ground. Otherwise, we're going to probably have our suspension stiffer than normal. At least when compared to whatever rally series I was doing before. So there we go. Something like this will work fine for this car. Front rebound is pretty good. Now there's the rear. Bump stiffness. This isn't an incredibly heavy car, so we don't need that. Aerodynamics. Do we need to have full aerodynamics, or do we want to reduce it to get a little bit more straight line speed? Because this is a power build car, I am going to go for the more straight line speed option. And if we take a look here, going for the sport differential does allow us to tune our acceleration, which is what we are looking to have. Ideally, I would have the deceleration at 45%. But here, 60% on acceleration, that is the more important thing. And because it's going to be a road circuit, I did slam all the way down. If I have the PI points to go for race suspension, I probably will. But for this example, That's just not going to be our option. Our engine revs to 7 grand. We have an upgraded supercharger. We're not even that bad for grip for C-Class. Alright, so what car are we going, or what track are we going to use here? Well, we want a balanced course with a decent amount of turns and a good straight for power build cars to kind of have a spot to shine. So there's not very many great tracks for that. Something, you know, like down here is basically all a big corner. Something over here is entirely corners. And the cathedral is just hell. But if we come over here, no, not that one. Not the Horizon Festival circuit, but here. We go to the Multiseat circuit. That is going to be a great on-road circuit normally, where it goes around the entire city. It's got some twisty turns, some braking zones, and a nice long straight. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to fast travel here. And we are going to switch to the normal event and go to Rivals mode. And go into C-Class. Stevio is quite the challenge, but I guess he'll be our first ghost we go up against. And yep, here's our car. 3,500 pounds, 550 horsepower, 630 foot-pounds of torque out of a 7-liter V8. Seven-liter. 427 Hemi, not bad. We just tuned the car, so we are ready to go. I don't expect to beat Stevio here. I have done this track quite a lot, so I do know it. I'm not going to be using manual with clutch because this is a test of the car, it's not a test of me. I'm going to give every car 3 laps around since we are going to be building them, so we don't have a super long video every time going for 5 or 10 laps. So 3 laps it is, just like on the Dirt Series. I thought I could knock that down safely. I almost spun out, so maybe that's not a good call. Here we come on to the long straight. If there's any really good power build cars here, this will be their time to shine here. But it does lead right into a fairly heavy braking zone. I need to be harder and earlier on the brakes than that, I think. Just saying. Okay, this will be a tricky circuit. Only 3 laps around. I will need to learn every car pretty quick. But yeah, Stevio's a really good driver, so I'm not sure we'll be able to beat his Ghost, but as soon as we get my Ghost up to race against, then that'll be a more fair comparison. I think the call for future builds will be to go for aerodynamics. or at least more aero into tuning, so that you know, we have slightly better braking effect. We don't slide out wide this time, so we should be good this lap for a good time. Oh, I hit the wall there. I didn't dirty the lap, though. Dirty laps will count. Hitting a wall on the circuit anywhere will just slow you down. So I'm not worried about that. I just don't want a dirty lap. It's a bit of a slide there. I thought about going for a tighter rear diff, having more acceleration power, but that slide there shows that where I had it is probably good. So 1:13.9 is our target time to beat, set by the Dodge Coronet Super B. Is that good? Is that bad? I don't know. That's the point of a benchmark car. Give it up for the Super B. In the previous series, that was a pretty good car all around. Here, I don't know. 2.5 seconds behind Stevio. Let's try something more up that alley. He did it in what looked like a Toyota, or BRZ or something like that. I didn't look. But there are some options we can go for here for next episode. That's it for now, though. If you guys are up for that in the future, you can leave a like, favorite, comment, share, and of course, don't forget to subscribe as well. Thanks, Game Boy. I'll see you all in the future.